welcome to another edition of the Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie's. Glad to have you along with us, and the old band is back together again. Big John Malkowski, St. John's Radio Network. Are you your official score for the International League or technically the Mudhens?
When I'm an official scorer, I'm for the International League. When I do the data casting, I work for the Mudhens. So the answer is yes.
Okay. All right. Everybody, you can write that down.
You went Peanuts voice in my head. You went wah, 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 because all of that.
I do two jobs.
You mean the comic strip Peanuts? You kind of
yeah, like the adults in the Peanuts. Well, not in the because in the comic strip they don't say anything, but in
you slurred it a little when you said it. I just wanted to make sure that it came over the microphone correctly.
Oh, I got it.
And that, of course, would be Marty Bin,
court jester.
What mortgage company now?
Fairway Mortgage. Although the other day we established that if it was actually something named for my golf game, it'd be Right Rough Mortgage. But no, it's Fairway Mortgage, a place I don't spend any time.
Behind the Tree Mortgage.
Correct. Sand Trap Mortgage. Duck Hook Left OB Mortgage. Those are all names that could actually be. But no, it's Fairway Mortgage. Yes.
And you had a good time at the LPGA?
You know we argue about this, but host.
No, we don't argue about this. You host.
Well, but hosting golfers
spent a lot of years out there. So.
And Sydney Clanton, who stayed with us for 4 years, she made the cut this year. Actually, shot a 5 under on Saturday to move up in the top 15, and then ended up even on Sunday. And you know those days where every putt that could fall doesn't, and whatever, and so she ended up even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me either. But it's so nice because you get that personal interest. So you follow someone around for 2 or 3 days, and you learn a lot about the grind that they go through. Because you talk about athletes that truly, most of the girls on that, ladies on that tour, truly are playing for a paycheck. I mean, they don't have the big sponsors. They don't have the big whatever. I mean, making a cut's a big deal because they get no money if they don't. Many of them pay their own entrance fees. You know, they have to play in the pro-ams to subsidize what it is. And you don't realize, you know, they pay a caddy, they play a swing coach, so it's awesome when they do well because you really get invested in that because they're not, you know, on a guaranteed max contract and with an entourage. They're real people who really have to hone their craft to make money.
So the answer is yes. You enjoyed your time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. I forgot that was a one-word question. Yes, it was. Every year it's great, and this year was really, really nice because you know when somebody goes low on a round and it's exciting to watch. You know you're not part of it, but it's you get vested.
All right. The next event for this town is really not in this town. Okay. Big fight coming up a week from tonight. And it will be on Showtime. It will not be pay-per-view. It will be on regular Showtime.
Which is
Robert
fantastic.
Easter Jr. defending his portion of the lightweight title against Mikey Garcia, I mean. And he has another piece of it. And what makes this huge is Mikey Garcia is one of the top boxers in the sport. So this takes you to the main event pay-per-view level if you can win this fight.
Right. Well, and I got to imagine that even that having Garcia going into this fight, it's got to be different fighting a guy like Robert Easter because he's so tall for that division. He's so tall and slender. There aren't other 6-foot guys in that division. And I mean, it's got to be a tough matchup for him too. I mean, whether he's one of the top in the division or not.
To me, it's an interesting fight because they're so different stylistically. At least, I'm not sure what to expect, and maybe that's what goes to what you're saying. Is I'm not sure either one of them knows exactly how the fight will turn out because I don't think they can each fight what they're used to fighting and be successful. They have to adapt to the opponent a little bit, and I don't know that you always see that in fighting. I think a lot of times, you know, it's pretty much they have their style and whatever. And I don't see that in this one. I think they're going to both have to be a little different.
Yeah. Robert Easter Jr. brought in another trainer for this fight. So I'm interested to see how he's going to look different in this fight, if he does look different than he has in the past. Here's a little breakdown of what you can expect, I think, in this fight. Because, excuse me, little cough. Mikey Garcia, there's not too many holes in his game. I mean, he's one of the best there is. Robert Easter Jr., as you mentioned, has the height, has the reach advantage. It's something he doesn't normally use, though. And the fights that I've seen him fight, he has been lulled into slugfests instead of boxing, using that reach, moving a little bit, staying out of range. I don't know if it's a mentality of the Toledo fighters or not to want to, you know, be the macho thing to take everybody out, but boxing is not like that. It's the manly art of self-defense. Right. You don't get any extra points for getting hit. Robert Easter Jr. has been, opponents have been able to find his chin with the right hand. He's gotten away with it. If Mikey Garcia finds his chin with the right hand,
I don't think he's getting.
I don't think he's going to get away with it.
Right.
So if Easter could fight a disciplined fight and not get lulled in a slugfest, I think he has a chance to win. If he gets into a slugfest, I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't see how he decides to go out there and go toe-to-toe and trade punches and comes out successful. That doesn't mean he can't take opportunities when they present themselves, but he's going to have to be selective and, you know, let the fight play out. But I think just to go out there and start wailing away is I mean, I hope that's not the game plan, because I don't see how that will be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for Toledo to have a local fighter in it. You know, Toledo's been a decent fight town long ago, and even Robert Easter, his last fights, he's brought in people, and you know, they've had good crowds at the Huntington. So seeing a guy like that, it's really nice to see a local guy like that be successful, and it'll be nice to see him on Showtime where more people can watch him rather than paying $50 for a pay-per-view.
I mean, it's his first 7-figure payday, so it's I mean, that's a big deal. Okay. Hard to turn that down. You know, I'm not sure I would have taken the fight yet, but they decided to. And if he doesn't win, it's not the end of the world.
No.
He's a young guy. As you mentioned, his height, he can move up in class if he chooses, from what I understand. He doesn't have any trouble making 135, but he could easily go up to 140, where now that division is wide open because Terrence Crawford went up to the welterweight division. So there's a lot of future for him, win or lose in this fight. Win, wow, he goes to the stratosphere. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and we'll talk a little baseball as the second half has just gotten underway. It's a Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Matthews Ford Oregon is the dealership that makes a difference, because we now offer guaranteed credit approval. We know what's on paper doesn't always reflect the person in front of us. That's why we work with over 40 lending institutions every day to help find solutions, and in some cases, we've been able to help folks looking at pre-owned vehicles drive away in a brand new one. Remember, we're here to help, not to judge. Ride on our reputation as the name that has been trusted since 1952.
That's the Matthews way.
Hi, Mortgage Marty here. Proud to announce I'm now at Fairway Mortgage. Long story, but at the end of the day, it's the perfect combination of great national talent and local everything. Our whole team's moving over, and I'm really blessed to have access to some of the best technology and tools in the industry, and yet still help you locally. You can reach out to us on the internet, on Facebook at Mortgage Marty, or just text me 419-461-0667.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer, a shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
And welcome back from our Roundtable show here on NBC 24, presented by Ralphie's. And stop by anytime. Wing time, Ralphie's. Also half-priced appetizers, too, after 9 o'clock. All right, good stuff at all your area. Ralphie's. All right, baseball, second half. All-Star break is done.
Which is a misnomer, actually, because
I know, it's
we're
like
way more than past the halfway point.
We're pushing the last third.
Yeah, basically.
Probably the last 2/5. But anyway, post All-Star break, we got one area team that's got something to play for and another one that doesn't.
Well, they do. They're playing for that #1 draft pick.
Instead of Cincinnati, then you got two teams that you got nothing to play for.
So I asked this rhetorically, and I'm not trying to insult any Indians fans. I want to make clear, so please don't text me with how much of a hater I am. But how much are they playing for?
They're going to be in the playoffs because nobody else in that division is going to do anything.
I understand that.
When you get in the tournament, anything can happen.
So you're saying there's a chance? Is
Sure,
that what, okay.
sure there's a chance.
All right.
Especially with their starting pitching.
Am I picking them? No, I'm not.
Okay, well, that's all I was asking is what do we think this
do they
ends
have
up
a
looking
chance?
like?
Yeah. Are there surprises? Yeah, there's still surprises in baseball. It's not like the NBA in the playoffs.
All right.
You know, you get an Oral Hershiser that's on a roll, and
You're saying Kluber gets
Kirk
out at the
Gibson
right
hobbles
time
off the bench, and you know it's been 30 years since that. So it does happen. Happens all the time.
or once every 30 years. I don't think this is the year, but that's.
Well, if you get your starting staff on a roll, you get Andrew Miller healthy, the bullpen gets on a roll, Edwin Encarnacion perks up, it can happen. Now, the good teams have less good things that have to happen to be able to win.
Right.
And a lot more guys in the bullpen they can count on than two.
Somebody's got to get by the Astros. Somebody's going to have to outscore the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yep.
Thank you. You're helping make my point that I wasn't trying to be disparaging. I was just like.
Well, as we tape this, there's been no big deadline deals, although as we're taping this, we're hearing Manny Machado's close to going somewhere.
Right.
So
But nobody knows where.
So if he already has, it's
It could be Philly. It could be L.A. It could be anywhere.
Well, wherever he is, he's probably there by now.
Yeah.
Well, the Indians are talking about maybe somebody like Brad Hand, who's the closer for San Diego, and that would be a great move for them because he's still under team control for a couple of years,
Right.
At a decent price. Both Andrew Miller and the closer Cody Allen are both free agents at the end of the year. They're not going to be able to keep both of them.
No. Not at the prices on
Miller
guys
might
yet.
be the guy that goes, and Hand could step into that role next year.
Right, and I've seen other names. Kyle Barraclough from Miami, which a lot of people probably don't know, but he's closing in Miami. He's a younger guy, only his second year in the majors. I've seen his name up on the trading block too. So, there are pieces out there, and a lot of times the teams that are out of it will dump their closer to a contender, who will put him into a setup role, and that could happen. I'm Jury's familiar from the Mets, Barraclough, Hand. A lot of those guys will be moved to become from closer to become setup men.
For the Tigers, trade.
Yep.
Trade.
Cut Victor Martinez.
I am so tired on social media going around and around about Nick Castellanos. Trade him. Trade.
If you can get the right deal.
Trade.
You can't. You can't just
You have
trade
to
him for.
understand in Norm's world,
Trade.
2 packs of gum and
Trade.
maybe a whatchamacallit, right?
No, I mean he's your best player. It's a crime that he wasn't at
On
the
a
All-Star
really
game this
lousy
week.
team. Okay. At one time.
Lousy teams can still have good players.
At one time, Willie Blair was the best pitcher on the Tigers staff in the late 90s, okay? That 2003
You know
team
I don't like agreeing with him, but on this one I have to
that
take
lost 100
Norm's side.
and blah, blah, blah games. Somebody was the best player on that team, too. Bobby Higginson was.
But yeah,
If you want to compare
and they
him to
overpaid
somebody,
him
compare him
too.
to Bobby Higginson.
And they overpaid him too.
Exactly.
But no, if you're the Tigers, guys like Castellanos and Fulmer, who you still have control of, you don't trade unless the right deal comes along. You don't just.
Well, I'm not saying you dump them.
I mean, you don't just dump them for a couple of middling prospects. If you can get 2 good prospects for either one of those, go ahead.
But for Castellanos, there's 29 other owners. If you can find one owner. Come on, he's the worst defensive player in baseball. He's having a career or a offensive year that's out of context with the rest of his career.
But he's still 26.
When it's in a tight game, he's still easy to get out because he will go fishing off the outside corner. Every game you see, he does at least one thing stupid every game.
I feel like we need to put a disclaimer within the disclaimer that anytime we're going to talk about him, that Norm's going to go very, very, very Norm. I mean,
well, they desperately.
I'm not saying you're wrong about any of this, but there's a lot of guys like that.
They desperately need middle infield help.
Yeah.
There is nobody there.
When Nico Goodrum's starting now, that's how desperate you are.
And Kurt shortstop's his contract's up.
Right.
Well, they should have traded him long ago.
You know.
Well, he had that good half a year, and that would have been a great time to.
He hit 300 the 1 year, and there's no power to it. There's no speed in it.
Out of context with the rest of his career.
Right. And I mean, I've always thought, I mean, he's more of a. You can replace that. I mean, yeah, he's good defensively, but you can replace what he does easily.
Don't overreact to that career year, you know. You know how that works.
Oh,
because they don't have anybody really for the middle part of the infield until you get down to Lakeland. I mean, that's where the next decent middle infield prospect is.
Believe me.
All apologies to Lugo, who is in the futures game, but he's not exactly busted the fence down either.
You know, he's a guy. I mean, I've watched him all year, other than the couple games he was in Detroit. He makes more hard contact than anybody else on the team. He doesn't walk. He's walked 4 times all year. But he makes more hard contact than anybody else. Kristen Stewart, Jim Aducey, Ronnie Rodriguez, anybody. He makes more hard contact. Even if, I mean, the outs are allowed usually.
Doesn't get it up in the air, though.
No, there's not a lot of power with it. And again, I mean, he's hitting 270, so you take it, an on-base percentage of 275 isn't helping a great amount, but I think there's something there to work with.
But at best, he's Tom Brookins.
I'm not saying he's an all-star.
You have old school referenced, mediocre Tiger years.
Well, I didn't say Dwayne Kuiper. All right, let's take a time out. We'll come back. And we're going to talk a little football in the NFL Hall of Fame and somebody who's causing a ruckus. We'll be back. Front Row Roundtable Show, presented by Ralphie's.
Matthews Ford Oregon is the dealership that makes a difference because we now offer guaranteed credit approval. We know what's on paper doesn't always reflect the person in front of us. That's why we work with over 40 lending institutions every day to help find solutions, and in some cases, we've been able to help folks looking at pre-owned vehicles drive away in a brand new one. Remember, we're here to help, not to judge. Ride on our reputation as the name that has been trusted since 1952.
That's the Matthews way.
Hi, Mortgage Marty here. Proud to announce I'm now at Fairway Mortgage. Long story, but at the end of the day, it's the perfect combination of great national talent and local everything. Our whole team's moving over, and I'm really blessed to have access to some of the best technology and tools in the industry, and yet still help you locally. You can reach out to us on the internet, on Facebook at Mortgage Marty, or just text me 419-461-0667.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer, a shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Red Wing Shoes, a quality built to last, just like the legacy of service at your Red Wing Shoes dealer, North Reynolds at Bancroft in Toledo. Family owned and operated since 1982. 4 generations building a legacy of quality and service for years to come. Our sales staff has over 95 years selling and servicing Red Wing shoe products, and we have the largest selection of Red Wing shoes in Northwest Ohio. Irish Setter, Works, and our USA-made heritage shoes. In stock, no waiting. Red Wing Shoes, North Reynolds at Bancroft, where service, quality, and fit come first.
Our Bomb Wrestling is back in action at Matthews Ford, Oregon, 2811 Navarre Avenue on Saturday, August the 4th for a free outdoor show. You'll see The Bachelor, Ben Boone, the PBW World Champion, defended the belt against Sweet Dreams Celeste Taylor, Circus of Pain, Brandon Day, and more. That is a free show on August the 4th. PBW back in action at St. Clements Hall in Toledo on Sunday, August the 26th. Ben Boone, Brandon Day, and more on the card. It's the best wrestlers in the Midwest. It's Power Bomb Wrestling. All right, welcome back. Front Row Roundtable Show, presented by Ralphie's. NFL Hall of Fame induction, when that comes up, the season's right around the corner.
I'm not mentioning the name. I will not. I made up my mind. I'm not. No, I will not.
Initials.
Nope, I'm not even doing that. I'm not feeding.
He was even on your team.
What do you do?
And I didn't like him then.
What do you do when you want to stop the clock? What do you call?
When Dion was on my team, I didn't like him then either.
Dion could back it up, though.
And all I'm saying is I made up my mind when I saw the agenda that I was not going to mention his name. So you can talk all you want. I will maybe participate in the conversation, but I will not give him credit for this.
When you have to stop the clock, what do you call?
Let's see. At the Rockets games, they say the officials have been asked to halt the progression of the.
We've stretched this out long enough. Terrell Owens
is still a spoiled brat prima donna and still a Hall of Famer, and I still don't want to talk about him.
Is there any way the NFL can just say, you don't show up, you don't get your stuff? You don't get your jacket.
Do you want to lower
your
yourself
flag?
to his level? I think this is much ado about nothing.
I think what they're doing is perfect. You don't mention him at the ceremony. If he doesn't want to be there, fine. You ship him his stuff after it's done, so he can't hijack your presentation by having his own. So you ship him his stuff and say, there you go.
Here's your jacket.
So
Your bus in there if you want to see it. Let us know. We'll get you a ticket.
It plays into every bad stereotype about athletes. Every single one of them.
And diva wide receivers especially.
Correct. I was going to, maybe they could have a diva wing like he and, Ocho, whatever, Mucho Stink. I'm saying not a Hall of Famer, but maybe they could have a special wing dedicated to all the diva receivers that thought they were way better than they were.
Because for those who
Andre
are not,
Rison could be in there. I mean, I can fill that wing.
For those who are not familiar with the situation, he was up for the Hall of Fame for 2 years, did not get elected. He got all salty about it. Got elected in his third year of eligibility. Is still salty about not going in right away and not on the first ballot or whatever. And so he's not going to show up at Canton. He's going to go to his college and make a speech at the same time.
2 weeks later. Not even the same time.
He had an engagement that conflicted with his ability to be there. I'm merely giving you the party line. I'm not saying I agree with it. Remember, I'm not even mentioning the name of the individual we're not talking about.
You could get a Big Mac anytime,
It's ridiculous, and it's. Never mind.
Well, how many guys wait more than a third year on the ballot to get in?
A lot.
And they're thankful to be in.
NFL is very difficult to get in. I mean, baseball's difficult. I think the NFL's
baseball's even more difficult, though. I mean, football, they have to put in 6 to 9 people every year or something like that.
Yeah, but you got 22 starters, and if you don't count the kickers.
But in baseball, I mean, other than this year,
kickers count now. Morton Anderson's in, so they now count.
Well, then you have 24 with the kickers and the punters. But
I'm saying.
So what I'm saying.
And Ray Guy's in. They both count now.
Let's steer the show back up.
But still, most years in baseball, you've got 1 or 2 guys going in. The NFL, you're guaranteed to have between 6 and 9, something like that.
It's top vote getters, not percentages.
Right. I mean, they have to put in.
I don't think it's easy to get in.
But there's a lot of guys who waited a lot longer. I mean, Chris Carter wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer either, and I would consider him a better wide receiver than Terrell Owens.
Well, that's because all he did was catch touchdowns.
Yes, buddy. Yes, buddy. We know. I mean, my thing.
Do you know the backstory on that? Do you actually know the backstory on that? Because he was with the Eagles and he was having drug problems.
Right.
At the time, and that's really why they cut him.
Right.
And Buddy Ryan, by saying, well, all he does is catch touchdowns, he was actually covering for him.
Yeah.
And Buddy took all that crap from the media, a running joke about all he does is catch touchdowns. He never said a word, and all the while, really, he was covering for Chris Carter.
Yeah, because Chris Carter it didn't bother him because he knew what was going on.
That's a million times more integrity than I'll ever have. I totally admit that.
I'm tired of hearing about this. I actually think, because I love football so much, I am more tired of hearing about this than I was this time last year about the Ball family. And I didn't think it was possible for me to be more tired of a non-story. So I was tired of the dad ball story because I
mean
won't
the
even mention his
Kardashians
name.
of the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. And I was thinking, this is a person who's never going to play a game in the NBA in his life, who doesn't matter, and we're talking about him all the time, and shoes that I'm never going to buy. And now I'm talking about a guy I didn't like who's not going to something that's otherwise boring. Because if you've ever watched it, it's boring. It goes on way too long. So I mean, there's guys.
Or if you've gone. I mean, it's only in Canton. It's not
I have. And it was excruciating.
The in thing always turns me off, though. Whatever the in thing is, it's like, you know, what are they really saying in this clip? You know, that type of thing. Yeah. I never listened to it.
So at the end of the day, I didn't think I could be more aggravated about a non-story than the balls. And this has done it, and I didn't think that was possible. And I do not want anyone to try and set the bar lower. I do not need the next non-story to be bigger than this.
Can we get him in an NFL camp so somebody can drill him? I mean,
he wants to plug.
Isn't he claiming he can run a 4.29 or something? Or
here's the highlight.
Lauren, our minute.
No, yeah, but here's the
seriously like.
I know, so we can do this really fast. The highlight that no one's going to need to see that'll get overplayed is the Manziel to Owens completion. Can you imagine what that would look like for a weekend? I thought of that today. I'm like, good Lord, we never get done with it.
Match truly made in hell.
That's my point.
All right, gotta run. Guys, thank you. Big John Malkowski, Marty Finn. All right, Powerbomb Wrestling coming your way at 2 a.m. You can't catch it, DVR it. You can't. It's up on YouTube. Find us all over Facebook, Twitter. Say hi, and we'll talk to you next time on the Front Row Roundtable Show presented by Ralphie.